Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. And if this is your first time visiting my channel, yay, you made it. You're here. I'm so glad. So, the movie I'm reviewing today is called Crisis. This movie was made available in select theaters, at least here in the United States, on February 26th. And it's going to be available on video on demand on March 5th. All right, so my goal at Movie Review Mom is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality as well as content so that you get the heads up and you can make the best decision for yourself and your family as to whether or not you want to spend your time and money watching a specific movie. So let me give you the scoop on this one. It's rated R, it's an hour and 58 minutes, and I'm going to give you my Movie Review Mom grade at the end. Keep watching. So, in a nutshell, this very dramatic thriller is actually based on true events and is a hard hitting look at the frustrating fight against drugs. The movie follows three related stories that intertwine from different perspectives of the opioid crisis here in America. We get a glimpse into the life of the creators of the drugs, the scientists behind them, the users, and the loved ones that are left affected by a user's derailed life. The film was written and directed by Nicholas Jarecki. It was originally going to be released under the name Dreamland, which I think is actually a pretty cool name for this movie, but that title was already taken back in 2019. Of course, there's also a movie called Crisis, so I'm not sure why they decided to go with that one. But it is also an appropriate title for this movie because it is a crisis here in the United States, sadly. Some say that the movie doesn't go deep enough, but I think it's still a great opportunity to talk about this epidemic, especially as the number of users has risen during the worldwide pandemic. All right, let me point out some things that I liked about the movie. First of all, the cast is fantastic. Academy Award winning Gary Oldman is such a solid actor whom I love to study whenever he's on the screen. He's just really great. And I've also really enjoyed Golden Globe nominee Artie Hammer and all of his performances over the years, ever since I first saw him in the movie The Social Network, which is a really great movie too. I also love seeing Golden Globe nominee Evangeline Lilly and Screen Actors Award winner Michelle Rodriguez. I think this is actually the very first time that they've been reunited on the screen ever since they were in the TV hit Lost. I totally got sucked into that TV show until I realized that the writers were kind of lost. I actually got to see Evangeline Lilly at the Fan X, kind of like a Comic Con show in Salt Lake City a number of years ago. And she just seemed like a really nice person as I watched her interact with everybody. And I was really impressed. Michelle Rodriguez also co starred with Luke Evans, who's in this movie in Fast and Furious back in 2013. If you are a Johnny Depp fan, you might be interested to know that his daughter, Lily Rose Depp, appears in this movie, as well as Academy Award nominee Greg Kinnear. They round out that very excellent cast. And of course, there are more in the cast, but those are kind of the big names that you might recognize. I love that all of the characters are flawed and conflicted. The movie does a really good job illustrating the many layered nuances of people's careers, their values, and the drug problem itself. At the end of the movie, you see some statistics about the opioid epidemic here in the United States. And I keep emphasizing that because I don't know the numbers in other countries. But here in the good old USA, it is a big problem. In fact, one of the statistics says that more people have died from drug overdose in the last 2 years alone than died in the entire Vietnam War. That's mind boggling. And that's definitely an epidemic worth talking about and making films about, don't you think? So there were a few things that I didn't like about the movie. First of all, there are lots of tropes that we've seen before, and some critics have been complaining that it's just a rehash of the movie Traffic, which handled this topic really, really well. Again, that didn't bother me so much because I think we do need to be talking about this issue. The movie kind of seems to endorse street justice with the story that features Evangeline Lilly. Her son dies and she wants vengeance and she wants answers too. In one of the scenes in the first part of the movie, she attends kind of a recovery meeting, with a group of people, and she admits that she is just barely hanging it together, and you believe her. But then in all of the rest of the scenes of the movie, she seems perfectly competent and alert and capable, and I'm like, wait, was she faking it? And at one point I thought, oh, maybe she was an undercover agent or something like that. So I don't want to give away any spoilers, but the character and the portrayal of the character sort of seemed incongruent. So that bothered me just a little bit. The writing is most definitely done in earnest and has good heart, yet some of the stories don't really seem quite believable the way things unfold. There's absolutely no humor. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. This movie is pure drama, as it should be, because this issue is so serious. I'm just saying it's like very depressing and intense throughout the entire movie. So let me give you some tips for parents. First of all, kids are going to be completely bored and not really interested, and they shouldn't see this movie because some of the content. For example, there's profanity and plenty of F bombs. There is portrayal and talk of addiction to Oxycontin and fentanyl. There are bloody murders where the camera zooms in on the pool of blood. So that's gross. There are lots of guns and they're used and they kill people in the movie. And you see several dead bodies. There are, however, some really good themes that are illustrated in the movie and absolutely worth talking about. For example, the opioid epidemic. But also, it addresses whistleblowers, greed, big pharma, truth, power, and what your values are. What are you worth fighting for? And what are you worth suffering the consequences for? I thought was really interesting. There were plenty of interesting lines in the movie, and I always write them and include them in my written movie review that I post at moviereviewmom.com. So you can run over there and check those out. But I'll share a couple of them with you right now. One of them is spoken by Lily's character, and she's talking about her son. And she says, I would like to be a better person for him, and I'm working on that every day. And that's one thing that is a thread that carries through to Alcoholics Anonymous or any of these addiction recovery types of groups is it is a daily struggle. Just because they quit smoking or drinking in a week, the next day they've got to conquer it over and over again. And I'm always amazed when I meet people and they announce I'm 32 years sober, which is a constant reminder that they still have that problem. Anyway, I thought that that was really good. And then Tyrone, who's played by Gary Oldman, is confronted with whether or not he should be a whistleblower, whether it's going to make any difference at all, whether or not he's willing to risk his career and his reputation if he does play the role of a whistleblower. And he says at one point, the people will know, and that's the best I can do. And I thought that that was really powerful. All right, so you want to know what grade I'm giving this movie? I'm giving it a drum roll. That's just me banging on my desk. An A minus. I thought it was good. And again, some critics are saying, no, it's not as good as Traffic. It's never going to be as good as Traffic. And that's okay. It's still good and it gets the conversation going. And I think that's really valuable. All right, before I go, let me give you some recommendations for other movies that I think that you might also enjoy. The first one, of course, being Traffic. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out. And like this one, it's a difficult movie to watch. There are people in the gutter really struggling. There's profanity. It's kind of real life, yucky stuff. So just a heads up on that. Again, not a family friendly movie or the feel good movie of the year, certainly. Another movie is Crash, and this movie has been compared to that one as well. Similar subject. And then let me give you a recommendation for a brand new movie that I just watched last week. It's called Cherry. And it's funny because I enjoyed that movie, but not because of the content per se. It's very brutal to watch. But I thought that the performance by Tom Holland was really good. And I've read a ton of reviews where people are slamming the movie, saying it was horrible, saying his performance was horrible. And I just thought, wow, we must not have watched the same movie. So if you watch that one, I would love to hear what you think about it. You can watch my movie review on my YouTube channel and see what you think. Definitely watch the trailer, kind of decide if that's content that you're interested in, but it shows up close and personal the effects of drug addiction. All right, so that's it for my movie review today. I hope you enjoy this movie if you choose to watch it. And I hope you subscribe. I hope you like what you see and you want more. So be sure and click on that little bell, and it'll notify you every time I upload a new movie review or a trailer reaction. And thank you also for those of you who are supporting me over at Patreon. I really appreciate that. Tell all your friends, hit the like button, join our Facebook group called Movie Review Mom, where you can meet lots of really fun people and we have great conversations and fun games about movies. I think you'll get a kick out of it. All right, I will catch you in the next one. Until then, bye for now.